What's up, homies? Welcome back to another video. Here's how to start the cycle. So usually I feel like we as people would be more inclined to think about how to break the cycle of habit. So things such as, I'm going to give addictions as a big example because that's it's a connotation of a negative form of habit. So something that affects you in a negative way that you feel like you don't have quite control over doing, like you don't have self-control to stop doing something that's negatively affecting you, is what I would consider an addiction. Obviously, there's varying levels to addictions. There's like super severe ones, and there's ones that may seem minor to a lot of people, but they still affect you in a negative way on some level. But I'm going to be focusing instead on how to start the cycle of good behavior, because we can all focus on what not to do, but it's kind of hard not to do something when you're thinking about it. That's like the biggest thing about addiction is, if, say, for example, I'm addicted to a specific drug, if me putting all this attention, all this effort and energy and focusing on not doing it, I'm still technically focusing on that thing. So I could say, don't consume adult content. And if I'm thinking about that all the time, don't look at this, don't look at this, don't look at this, all the time, I'm still giving energy to the thoughts about something, even if it's in a better way of like, I don't want to give my energy to this. I don't want to give into some kind of addiction that I have or some lack of self-control. But in general, you're still focusing on that thing. So instead of letting that take the power from you, what I'm going to be focusing on is how to start the cycle and focus on something new to start you getting in the habit of having a new behavior. So let's get into it. So how to start the cycle. So this is my thoughts on it. And I might be able to make this really brief. We'll see. I tend to be a big yapper, so it may take a while. But the best simple way that I can say it is just do it one time. So let's say, for example, I have trouble not eating chocolate and I don't have self-control. I have a big thing of chocolate at home, and as much as I could say, just don't have it around. Okay, what if it is around then? We'll just say that I want to learn self-control and not in moderation, not just eliminating the thing from your life. Although there's some cases where you need to completely eliminate something from your life totally because they don't have any positive impact on you. But let's say these things won't have a net negative impact on you, like eating chocolate, unless you eat it in very large amounts all the time. So I have a problem with eating chocolate. Every night I come home, and after a long day at work, I'm only snacking a little bit here and there. I don't get my full meals in. And when I go to bed, after I brush my teeth and everything, I'm like, oh, just a little bit of chocolate. I got some chocolate pretzels right over there, right by my bed. So that's the perfect example. But rather than saying, you know what, I'm not going to eat chocolate tonight, and just say, all I'm thinking about at work is don't eat chocolate when you get home, don't eat chocolate when you get home. That's one thing. But to start the cycle of something new and to start doing something in general over and over again, you just have to do it one time. Because think about it, you can never do something every single day if you don't at least do it once. So I'm going to come home, I'm going to get in bed, and I'm going to say, you know what? I really want chocolate right now. And it's okay that I want chocolate. It's just a thing. But what I'm going to do is, even though I want to, just right now, I'm not going to eat it. Even though I really want it. And although technically it can not have a super bad negative impact on me if I control myself, I'm just not going to do it today. Even if that means I still do it tomorrow, I still do it the next day, I'm going to make the conscious decision right now, today, not to do it. And that's it. And that's the hardest part. I promise the hardest part is doing it once. But the thing is we build these neural pathways in our brains that get deeper and deeper, and we are creatures of habit. So once we do it once, we are more likely to do it again. If you do any activity once, you are increasing the likelihood that you do it again. And especially when it comes to specific things that you like or that bring you joy or bring you some sense of comfort, those things you're going to be even more susceptible to falling into habit of doing if they make you feel good in any way. So, like I said, you're going to focus on just doing it one time. Or if you want to say not doing something one time, that's a way to think about it too. But some of us are going to be better at focusing on doing an action. So I am choosing to take the action of not making a decision right now, because that is an action in a way. You can say, no, you're just not making a decision. Well, yes, you are making the decision not to let your mind hijack, or your body hijack your mind and make you take action in the situation. If you tend to be a super impulsive creature, you could say, just don't act on your impulses. Well, you are going to be you have to think of it as, I am making a decision to not make a decision right now. And I know that sounds stupid, and you could say, oh, you're just flipping your mindset. Yeah, that's the point, because some people are going to be better at saying, this is just what I need to not do. This is what I need to not do. Don't do this. And that's a good way of thinking about it if it's benefiting you. But if it doesn't, and it just harms your brain and makes you feel guilty every time you do it in a worse and worse way that's not helpful or beneficial to you, instead of thinking of as, I'm not doing something, you need to think of it as, I am taking an action, and I am actively moving in the right direction by the simple fact that I am choosing not to do this thing. So that's going to be the way to get the ball rolling, right? Because if we want to start doing something every day, if we want to start doing something a lot, we need to make sure that we are doing things at least one time. Because if I'm going to try to inevitably stop smoking cigarettes, and I smoke cigarettes every day, I need to have, and this is why I say it's the hardest part, is I need to do this at a time where it is really hard for me not to. So a time, let's say, I know a lot of people, and I have been this way as well, where when they drink alcohol, they'll smoke a cigarette, but they don't smoke cigarettes all the time. But let's say you are a habitual smoker, you kind of cut back, but then every time you drink, you want to smoke a cigarette. So the main time where this is going to be really, really impactful towards you in making a step in the right direction and saying no every time is when you want something most. That is when you need to pull back and say, I'm not going to do it this one time, just this one time. If you want to watch adult content on your phone at night, you're at home, you're alone, and that habit in your brain of like, this is what I feel like doing right now, this is what I want to do. Even if you do it tomorrow, even if you do it the next day and all the days after that, just make the decision just not to do it once. Because even if you keep doing it every day and you quit, you give up, you never do it again, okay, well, at least you made the conscious effort to do it one time. At least you did it once. That's still better than nothing. But hopefully what this is going to do is this is going to start the ball rolling of it's just going to start momentum, because it actually allows you to see, look, I am able to do this. Like I know it's really hard, but I'm able to. And I know that I was able to. And then when the next day comes, which hopefully you're not thinking right now, like, oh, if I say no today, I'm gonna have to say no tomorrow. No, just focus on today. Once the day's passed, you can look back at it and look, I did this. I did it. I'm going to make the decision again. And although it can be even more stressful the next day, because you're like, I didn't do it yesterday, and if I don't do it today, I'm also probably not going to do it tomorrow, and I'm never going to do it again. And that's a good thing anyways. But just focusing on not doing it right now, or making the effort to not make a decision when you are susceptible to habit, which is bad habits, that's going to be really good for you. Because the only way, like I said, I'm going in circles here, but I'm trying to drill this into you. As you allow yourself to do it one time, you are making it more likely that you're going to be able to do it again, and then again, and again. And although growth is not always linear in your decision making, like we tend to do good in habits and then crash in some way, and then do better and then crash in some way. But if you keep trying, eventually you can get a really long streak. And I'm not a fan of like counting my streaks on, oh, it's been this many days since I did this. Because I think if you're trying to eliminate a habit in general, you don't need to be counting. There's no reason. Because if you plan on not doing it anymore, then why are you counting in the first place? I know it's good to be like, this is the last day I did this. But if you're actively counting towards, oh, it's been this many days since I've done this or that, then you're kind of giving energy to that thing and giving it power in a way. And you need to just step away from that and just be like, no, I'm just making active decisions to change my life and better myself. But in general, the only way you can start doing something all the time is just doing it once. And for a lot of people, it's going to be hard to really trust and believe that, because they can't see it right now. They can only see in the right now. But the biggest thing about being able to do something later is setting yourself up for it. It's not just making the decision later. You have to realize that your actions right now impact you later. So you allowing yourself to do something right now, or allowing yourself not to do something right now, is going to make it more likely or less likely that you do it again the next time you have the choice to make the decision. And the same for making this video. I was on my phone, I was scrolling, I keep deleting social media, and then I re-download it just for one thing, and then I get distracted with something else, get off my phone for a minute, and then by the time I go back to it, I forgot the whole reason why I didn't have it in the first place, which is that it distracts me a lot, and it gets me really off track. I don't do anything productive with my time. I won't be making this video right now. And then I realized, you know what? Even if I don't do that with my time tomorrow, and I don't make a video tomorrow, I don't do anything productive, I stay on my phone for like 4 hours at a time, at least I made the decision to do it right now. And right now, look at me, I'm talking to you. So here we are. And now this increases the likelihood that the next time I have the opportunity to have a few hours of my time or a good chunk of time, I can do something useful with it rather than just mindlessly scrolling and say, I'll do it next time. Because I promise you, the biggest lie of addiction is that I will do it later. I will do it next time. This is the last time. This is the last time that I freaking satisfy myself to adult content. This is the very last time I'm going to do this drug. This is my last hurrah. After I'm going to go so hard, but right after this, I'm done. I promise you, a majority of the time, unless it's like a mind or life-altering event that occurs as a result of you taking some kind of substance or doing something crazy because of you're trying to do a blowout right before you make a big change in your life, unless it's those specific scenarios, it's not going to cause you to make a behavior change. Unless it literally like alters your relationships, your life, your physical condition, like you being like, this is the last time I do this drug, and then you get freaking plastered, and then the next time you're like, you know what? Yep, that was it. I'm done. Like, that's not going to happen realistically. When that happens, or the time that you change for good is going to be the time that you say no, even though you want to. So you need to realize that there just has to be at least one time. There just has to be one time that you tell yourself, even though I want to do this thing, I'm not going to do it. Or even though I don't want to do this, I'm going to make the conscious decision to do it anyway. And like I said, these brains, think of them as literal tunnels. They are actual physical, and you can, I believe, if you like look at them closely enough in the brain, you can actually see these tunnels. They get deeper and deeper, and I'm calling them tunnels because they are like little lines. The synapses in your brain, stuff like that. Well, maybe not the synapses, but is it the synapses? Either way, the spots in your brain that are responsible and are able to be seen when you do an activity repeatedly, they literally get deeper and they carve deeper and deeper into your brain until you start using them so much, start doing this activity so much, it's literally physically ingrained in your brain. And we want to create those with good things, with reinforcing behavior that is positive and has a positive impact in your life. And the less you do them, the less deeper they get, the less likely it is that you engage in this behavior again. So when you engage in new ones, you make it more likely these little synapses or these little neural pathways, not synapses. These neural pathways are getting deeper and deeper carved in your brain, making it more likely you do them over and over again, while these other ones that you are hopefully stopping yourself from doing are going to be, I don't know if they close up or exactly how that works, but the less you engage in the behavior, the less likely it is that you will keep repeating it over and over again. That doesn't mean you're never going to do this thing again, as unfortunate as that is, because we are human beings. We tend to be impulsive at times. There's things that affect our ability to make healthy decisions, like alcohol, drugs, sleep. All those things affect our decision making. But at the end of the day, if you choose to make the conscious decision just one time, you can get that ball rolling and you can start something beautiful of your life. You can make something huge, a big impact of your life just from making one decision. And you don't want to overwhelm yourself with the idea of, oh, if I do it today, who knows, tomorrow I'm going to do it again and then I could get this big opportunity and then I'll be a millionaire. Don't focus on that. Don't focus on the potential of where it can bring you. I know sometimes I say focus on the future. Sometimes I say focus on the right now. But the best way to do this is just focus on making the decision right now and letting the way that it affects your brain happen naturally in the future. Because if you make a positive decision and choose to do it even though you don't want to, or choose to not make a negative decision even though you do want to, your brain is going to do the process naturally. And that's what we're trying to take advantage of here. The best way for you to do something positive tomorrow is to set yourself up to do it tomorrow, today. It's not just saying, I'm going to do it tomorrow. There's nothing special about tomorrow. There's nothing tomorrow that's going to make you be like, you know what, this is what I'm going to do. I was right yesterday. Today's the day. Like, no. You setting yourself up for tomorrow, today, is what's really going to make that change, because that's just how our brain works. But hopefully this video was able to give you a different kind of perspective change, or some kind of mind shift to where it makes you just try to do something positive for yourself just once when you don't want to, or just pull back and choose to actively not make a decision even when you really want to, if it's having a negative effect on your life. Share this with someone else that you think it could be beneficial for or helpful for. But again, thank y'all so much for watching. Just let me know in the comments any ideas you have about this. This is really what helps me and drives me to make a positive decision. And hopefully this will help me continue to make videos over and over again. That's what I'm hoping for. But I need to just focus on the right now. Even if I don't make this decision every single time when I can, the best I can do is just do it right now. Because even though it's not going to automatically make me do everything right every single time, at least I'm doing something good for myself right now. So, you homies, have an amazing day. I'll catch y'all next video. Peace out, gamers.